Bad Brothers, baby.
Face breakdown.
Cool. Well, welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Bruce Dingo, the Luchador, here with
Bubba Brogdon.
Yeah, sleepy, tired, hungry, Big Bubba Brogdon.
Not hungry. I just ate.
Oh, okay,
So just had some Pizza Hut.
nice. Pizza's always good.
I thought you were gonna say something about how unhealthy pizza is.
Nah, man. I mean, I'm sure it usually is, but I'm a pizza fan, man. Pizza's my absolute favorite food.
But yes, welcome everyone. This is the Bad Brothers Babyface Breakdown.
Yes, sir.
And we just talk some news, talk some topics, have a good laugh, maybe sometimes get into some controversial stuff, and we always get off topic.
Yep. So if that's not your bag,
Bye.
maybe. Yeah. See ya. Well, yeah, man.
More serious content, I believe you'll find. I don't know what you'll find.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. There's tons of that stuff out there, so it's not really. I don't really have time for it. Barely have time to watch wrestling and do this. So, I don't know what other, podcast you could get into out there.
Yeah. Well, how's your week been?
Yeah, been good and busy. Yeah, no real complaints, man. Other than it just goes by too fast.
For you, maybe.
Yeah, always, man. And the weather's been kind of crap.
Oh yeah, it's bad. Whew.
Yeah. How about yourself?
Just working the life of doing full time. I think this is the first week I've actually hit over 40 hours. So,
Nice.
you say nice. That paycheck will be nice, but just my body and my everything is exhausted.
Well, you're young, man, and it's only going to get worse. So do it while you can. Get those nice paychecks and be smart with them, and hopefully 20 years from now you won't have to be putting in 40 plus hours a week.
Yeah.
So that's my elder advice to you. Do what you will with it.
Wow. The month is February, right?
Yeah, man. Black History.
Black History Month.
Woo!
But we're also on the road to WrestleMania.
Yep.
So next week will be the Elimination Chamber. Before we go into any news, I want to know what your thoughts on the Chamber will be.
I mean, so off the top of my head, without looking it up, I couldn't even really tell you much about it. I know what we're getting: Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley versus Beth Phoenix and Edge, right?
Right.
That should be good. I don't expect it to be great, but I expect it to be good. Let's see, the actual Elimination Chamber itself. I'm just going off the top of my head, seeing how well I can remember this stuff. But is it Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, Jonah? What's his name?
Bronson Reed. Yeah.
Bronson Reed. See, that's three of them. See if I can remember the other three. Mm. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on the other three. Who are the other three in the chamber?
Johnny Gargano, Damian
right.
Priest, and
That's right.
Montez Ford.
That's right. That's why I was drawing a blank, because it's it's those.
The only odd man out of the group is Montez Ford.
Yeah, I would pull Gargano and Montez Ford out of that. I think Damian Priest, you know, he's good enough to fit in there, but I'm not too big on the other two. So
Yeah. This is the first time the U.S. title is being defended in the chamber.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I definitely think the three that we just mentioned don't really stand any chance of coming out on top.
No, it's either going to be Theory or Rollins.
Right. And you know who my pick is. I said, and you know who my pick is.
Yeah, you're A-Town down all the way.
All the way. Yep, that's my pick.
I mean, just a serious what if Montez Ford wins.
I mean that's got channel changer written all over it for me. Now, I kind of reading the room, I feel like the majority of WWE fans probably are a little bit bigger on him than I am. So
I was gonna say he's very athletic and he's got the wrestling he's got the persona of a wrestler. He's got the energy. He's got the physique.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I definitely don't. I don't think he's bad. I'm just not a mark for the guy. I really couldn't tell you why. It's I mean, I like them okay as a tag team, Street Profits. But when it gets to like talking, to splitting them up and pushing Montez forward, I don't know. I have a hard time with that right now. I think there's potential there, but I see it as being much further down the road, rather than like going ahead and pulling the trigger on something like that right now.
Yeah.
He's over, like I said, with a lot of people. But I would keep him as a tag team, for a little while longer. You need them in the tag team division. And I just think they're better.
Tag team.
Yeah, I think they're better as a tag team. I think also too, if you split them up now and you get behind Montez Ford, I think that's like worst case scenario for Dawkins. Dawkins needs Street Profits.
Right.
Man, yeah, you split them up and he goes the way of Mojo Rawley, or someone like that. He's just gonna go away. He'll slowly fall down the card until they eventually let him go. And I don't
Tucker.
Say it again.
Tucker, or like Tucker.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and I don't know. I think Dawkins has talent too. I think he's got value. But I don't know. I just see both of those guys doing much better as a tag team for now. I don't think the timing is right to split those guys up and try and push Montez.
All right.
That's just my 2 cents on it. Gargano too. Like I used to like Gargano a little bit more in the indies. He's an indie wrestler to me, and that's not a criticism per se. It's just I don't see him as somebody that's transitioned to the WWE style very well, personally. So yeah, not big on him. But yeah, I think the rest of the guys in the match should should be able to deliver a pretty good match. And I could see any of those other four coming out on top, but really it's going to be Theory or Rollins, I think. So, and honestly, even though I'm a Theory guy, and that's who I want to win, and that's who I see winning, that's definitely who I would put my money on. I would not be upset if Seth Rollins won. So I think with those two being the most likely winners, I think either way, I'll be happy with the outcome. Now the match itself, I'm of course hoping for something entertaining and something good. We'll just have to see about that. So, the rest of Elimination Chamber, I know, is that Brock Lesnar and Lashley? Is that going down at the Elimination Chamber? Or is that
no? That's not going down.
That Mania?
That'll possibly be at Mania. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we have was it Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns?
Yeah, but before that, we have the Women's Chamber match.
Okay. See, I couldn't even tell you who's in that.
The 6 participants, and the winner of the chamber will be Bianca Belair's Raw Women's opponent for the title. We have Carmella, Natalya, Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Asuka.
Oh man, run it down one more time, real quick. Natalya,
Carmella, Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Asuka.
Okay, yeah. The only, I don't know. The only Asuka's the only one that I can see legitimately, coming out on top there. Of course,
or Raquel are the only two I can see.
Yeah. You think? I don't know a whole lot about Raquel, so I don't know. I think the fact that I don't know a whole lot about her kind of leads me to believe that she doesn't really have a chance of winning that. Now, I'm a big fan of Nikki Cross. I'm a big fan of Natalya. Big fan of Asuka too. So I would be happy with any 3 of those winning, but I'm not gonna kid myself and even pretend like Nikki Cross or Natalya are gonna win that. I think it's Asuka all the way.
Yeah. And then, like you were saying, for the main event, we have the undisputed Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, versus Sami Zayn.
Yeah, and that's I think that goes without saying that'll probably steal the show. That's definitely where all the focus and attention is right now. I think that's the match that everybody's looking forward to. That's the match that I'm looking forward to. And it should deliver. And it's, I don't know, we're kind of at a point where the storyline is so good that they really don't even have to put on a 5-star, clinic or like wrestling match. The match itself can be actually pretty subpar and still come away being a match of the night, just based on the storytelling. So at this point, I don't doubt that we're going to get some good storytelling out of that match. So. So yeah, I mean that's really all I know about Elimination Chamber, I think. And yeah, I mean I think like I said, I think the Sami Zayn Roman Reigns match will be the one to watch.
That'll be the biggest one to watch. That's the one that most people are going to. That's going to crash Peacock.
Probably.
We'll be watching it live, and then we're all just going to be cussing at the TV because everyone wants to watch it.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about me not being able to watch live and having to watch after the fact.
I think what's going to happen is that Sammy's going to lose here.
Yeah. So, I guess we had some pretty good segments on Raw and SmackDown this week that kind of tie into that. So I'm assuming you saw Monday Night Raw. You saw,
of course,
Paul Heyman and Cody do one of the best segments I've seen just in wrestling in a really long time, man.
Just talking about his father and the relationship and how personal this will be.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was good. Delivery, from both of those guys was excellent. The angle there, the history, between those two guys, and being I'm a big Cody fan. I'm a huge Dusty Rhodes fan, big ECW guy, big Paul Heyman fan. So yeah, they kind of got into talking about Dusty, and man, it was a tearjerker, man. It was emotional. It was they built up Dusty, talked him up pretty good. Cody talked about the real hard times, falling on hard times. 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Dusty, and them having $100 to their name, and having to resort to doing car commercials for a little cash. And Paul Heyman called up Dusty and got him to make his ECW debut. Start those appearances working for ECW. And so Cody, thanked him for that. Paul Heyman talked Dusty up, and it was a lot of like mutual respect at that moment, some handshakes and, just kind of hailing each other, praising each other. And then Paul Heyman, was talking about the NXT days where you had Dusty training and preparing the next generation, the current generation of what we're seeing in WWE, the people who are on top, and Rollins and Kevin Owens and, Bayley, Becky Lynch, and Roman Reigns. And, the one person that he did not train and prepare was Cody. And then Paul mentioned that, the last conversation he had with Dusty right before he passed, Dusty told him that Cody was his favorite son, but Roman was the son that he always wanted, the son that he wished that he had had, which is just brutal, man, just brutal. Now, obviously, Dusty Rhodes did not tell Paul Heyman that, but that's really beside the point. So yeah, Cody, gets pretty emotional there and snatches up Paul Heyman, and tells him he's just trying to win a championship, but everybody wants to make it personal. So he's going to take those championships from his boy Roman Reigns personally at WrestleMania. So yeah, man, that was a good segment. Like I said, that's the best thing I've seen just in wrestling in a really long time in terms of promos, storytelling. Aside from pure wrestling matches, like that's the best thing I've seen in a while. So
yeah, I think that was like a whole 5-star segment. I've got no real flaws with it.
Yeah, no, it was great. But prior to Paul Heyman coming out, Cody talked up Sami Zayn, and mentioned that he might be facing Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. Basically saying that, either Roman Reigns or Sami Zayn, could come out of the Elimination Chamber as champion. So, may the best man win. And that's what brought out Heyman. But, yeah.
Again, I think that they're going to pull a Daniel Bryan with Sami Zayn. Make it a triple threat match. People are talking about the one title and one title. No, they're going to probably make it a triple threat match. Do WrestleMania 30 all over again. And then Sami Zayn is going to make Cody a heel at the end of the day. And then just get both titles.
Yeah, I mean, it's with all the, I guess heat behind Sami Zayn right now. It really doesn't make sense to go any other direction. They kind of have to pull the Daniel Bryan thing and then just run with it. Because I don't know, I kind of feel like this is Sammy's moment. If they choose not to go with him right now, I just don't ever see, and who knows, never say never, but I don't really see them going back to Sammy. It's like I feel like this is the time. Strike while the iron's hot. He's moving merch. He's probably the most over person they've got in the entire company right now. So yeah, it just makes sense, man.
And the fact that Daniel Bryan got where he was is not because they wrote him on as that. It's because the fans pushed him. The fans hyped him up, making Vince have to make the decision. Either keep the fans happy or keep the storyline going.
Yeah, and we talked about it before, seeing the parallels between Sami Zayn's current situation and the Daniel Bryan situation years ago. It's so similar. It's uncanny, man. But yeah, I think that's one of my favorite things about wrestling. It's one of my favorite things about going to wrestling shows. It's one of my favorite things about being a wrestling fan. I think wrestling fans have the potential to, influence the product way more than any other sport. I mean, of course, being in an arena at the Super Bowl or a football game, basketball game. I mean, the fans can have some degree of influence in terms of cheering on their team, chants, even, so a little bit of crowd participation, but it's not interactive the same way that, professional wrestling is. And the fans can truly, change the entire trajectory or course of the booking of the product, of the careers of the superstars, the wrestlers. So it's pretty awesome. It's a pretty awesome thing.
Yeah. Well, there was still a whole lot more stuff that happened on Raw. Let's see. We had Damian Priest defeat Angelo Dawkins to qualify. We had one thing I want to talk about. Dexter Lumis defeating Baron Corbin in a one-on-one match. Not even using his finishing move or even anything remotely. It was just a Uranagi and a finish.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Corbin, man. The angle with JBL, he had an interaction with JBL backstage, and JBL just let him have it, man. Told him that he wasn't worthy of, being aligned with him, and JBL, which I'm not a JBL fan. I never have been. Since day one, even before the JBL stuff, I just never liked the guy very much. But yeah, he talked about how he main evented WrestleMania and he had all these great accomplishments, and Baron Corbin was just horrible, terrible. And so looks like they've
modern day wrestling god, more the modern day wrestling joke.
Yeah, and so they've seem to be done with the JBL experiment there, and then they have that. I mean, I don't know what you really do with the guy at this point, other than just keep him around as a jobber. Like, who is lower on the WWE roster totem pole right now than Baron Corbin?
That's easy, actually.
Yeah.
The jobber totem pole.
Yeah. Who you got? Who's at the bottom?
I would have said Shelton Benjamin, but looks like they're gonna push him with the Hurt Business. It would have been Shelton Benjamin, but it does look like Baron Corbin's right at the bottom, along with Mustafa Ali.
I think Shelton Benjamin's record, like his history, kind of keeps him from being on the bottom. Even if, like, in current, times he's at the bottom, I think having that feather in his cap of having a little bit more of a successful career, a little bit more of a long-term career, kind of bumps him up. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I get the argument, but like I said, I think his history would kind of bump him up. Baron Corbin, Mustafa Ali, you know, I think I'm probably more of a fan of Baron Corbin than I am Mustafa Ali. So, I think that's if Mustafa Ali is at the bottom, that's a good thing. I'm happy about that. So,
Yeah, I wouldn't blame certain people because Mustafa Ali's pretty. He's not bad. He's just
he's he's nothing special at all. Like everything that he does, somebody else already does. You know, there's nothing really unique about the guy, nothing that stands out, nothing that you can't get in 20 other wrestlers.
The only thing that's unique between him and Mansoor is that they're Iranian or from Iraq.
Yeah, I mean, Iran, Iraq. Yeah, what?
They're Middle Eastern.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't care, man. I don't see color.
Yeah, that's the only difference I see between them and most other jobbers. I'm trying to think of other jobbers that there are right now.
Yeah, like people who are actually, you know, I mean, you do have the male models, you know, guys. They're pretty low on the pole, right?
Yeah, but they're actually getting segments on television.
Yeah, they get a little time. Well, I mean, Corbin's getting a little TV time too. I think
I'm just looking through the roster to see who can come to mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say that's our bottom tier. You know,
Yeah,
male models: Mustafa Ali, Baron Corbin, maybe Shelton Benjamin sitting on top of the pile.
Yeah.
Went down to kicker, huh? Field goal.
What are they doing with the Miz right now? They got him in the feud with Rick Boogs, right?
I guess. I don't know. You haven't really been seeing a whole lot of Miz lately.
So they had a match last week, and they had a segment this week that Boogs and Miz will have a rematch next week or tomorrow.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
should do more with Miz because he's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, and he's great.
Yeah. I'm a Miz mark, and I don't understand the people that aren't, because he's pretty great. He's pretty awesome. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did also have a confrontation between Lesnar and Lashley.
Yeah.
Lashley tried to get Lashley and Lesnar tried to sign a contract for Chamber, but it was never signed, so it's not happening right now. That could change tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I think this big of a match would happen at Mania.
Yeah, I mean, it could go down at Elimination Chamber and Mania.
I mean, yeah, they've already faced one-on-one 2 times already, right?
At least.
Bobby Lashley won the first time, thanks to Roman, and Brock Lesnar won the second time.
Okay, so yeah, the next encounter is the rubber match.
Mm-hmm. The next one is the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Because I believe it was Rumble of last year where Lesnar lost to Lashley.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. After that, we had the qualifying women's match between Carmella, Michin, Candice LeRae, and Piper Niven.
Yeah. I didn't watch that one. Skipped it.
Well, we already know who the winner was. It was Carmella.
Yeah. Carmella, who I'm not a fan of either.
I'm a fan of her Money in the Bank run.
Yeah, I really haven't been a fan of her since her Enzo and Cass days. I absolutely hated her at first when they first brought her in with Enzo and Cass, and then she grew on me pretty quick, to where I was starting to like her, starting to enjoy her, and then they separated her from Enzo and Cass, and just from that point on, it's been all downhill for me, man. I don't hate her, but I'm not a fan, not into it.
After that, we had some tag team action between Alexander and Benjamin and Gable and Otis, Alpha Academy.
Yeah, man, that was a pretty good match.
Mm-hmm. And MVP was at ringside. It looks like MVP's got Shelton and Cedric under his wing now with Omos.
Yeah, man.
That means they just need one more guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and hopefully that happens. I'm still wanting to see some more Hurt Business. So,
Yep.
Yeah, I think that ended too quickly. So it looks like they're going back to it. That could be I don't know. Like, people were speculating that maybe Triple H was bringing them back together after Vince left, but since Vince is back now, I don't really know who's calling the shots.
I don't think Vince is technically back because he's been suspended from certain things, hasn't he?
I'm not entirely sure what's going on right now.
Hopefully Vince doesn't come back to power. This has been tremendous with Triple H taking the helms.
I see what you did there. Helmsley.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't even know what I did.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I definitely, I don't want Vince booking. I don't, if he comes back doing business stuff. I don't really care. I definitely don't want him booking though.
No. I mean, he's booking Lesnar's matches. That's all he's doing.
Yeah.
Because Lesnar will not let anyone else book his matches. He wants Vince to book his matches because he knows that Vince is just going to put him over.
Oh yeah. Yeah, of course.
Next up, we have Chelsea Green continuing her losing streak against Asuka. So Asuka beats Chelsea Green in a fairly quick match.
Yeah. No real surprise there.
No. We had Ford versus Elias for the Elimination Chamber. Now, wouldn't that be interesting? Instead of Montez Ford, it would have been Elias.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it seems like they're not really gonna do anything with Elias.
I mean, I like Elias as a face, but I loved him as a heel.
Yeah, Elias is a better heel. I don't know. It's hard to say who I like better though, Elias or his brother Ezekiel.
Again, I think it was the fans had a brilliant idea of bringing back Damian Sandow to be Elias, and then Ezekiel's just the same.
Yeah.
And they just do a tag team.
Yeah, I mean that would have been good. Yeah, it's yeah. John says Baron's rumors have it that Baron Corbin is pretty much a lost cause.
Yeah, and I think he's also named 2 more jobber teams.
Yeah, Hit Row. I forgot about Hit Row.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
top rope
What-
dummies.
What is Los Lotharios?
Oh, that's Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza.
Oh yeah, where have they been?
They've been on SmackDown.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
haven't been watching SmackDown, so I've and the little bit that I have seen has just been like highlights and stuff. So I guess they're not really good.
They're not as big pushed as they were.
Yeah.
And then it looks like John is agreeing with me about Carmella and her Money in the Bank run being the best.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So she also has the record for longest Money in the Bank run, beating Edge by at least a day or 2.
Cool.
Let's see. We also had the main event, Becky Lynch versus Bayley in a steel cage. This match was robbed from us from WrestleMania XXX.
Right. Or Raw Triple X.
Yeah, Raw XXX. Again, do not look that up unless you have WWE in the name. Even then, that might be a little weird.
Yeah, just put those child filters on your search before you search it.
So Becky ends up beating Bayley, and looks like she got some help out of Lita.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see Lita, just a good little bit of nostalgia for a moment. But aside from that, and also too, like if you don't have that nostalgia, if you didn't grow up watching during Lita's day, then it's just whatever,
of course you grew up, and so it wasn't really whatever for you, was it?
No, I thought it was pretty cool. But I could see where, like I said, maybe somebody who didn't know who Lita was, the younger generation, I could see where they would probably be a bit, either confused or just not, don't really care. Because I mean, the match itself was okay. It wasn't as good as I feel like it probably should have been.
Yeah. But that was all for Raw. NXT happened on Tuesday, and man, oh man, was it a good night. I mean, any night that Quincy Elliott isn't around is a good night.
Right. Yeah, I mean, go figure. The one week that I opted to watch SmackDown instead of NXT this week.
See, John. He looked up Raw XXX, didn't he?
Yep. Didn't have those parental filters on either. So. Yep.
So back on track. So NXT happened on Tuesday, and man, oh man, was it a good show.
Yeah, well, like I said, I went with SmackDown this week instead of NXT, so I didn't catch it, man. You take the lead on that. Tell me what happened.
I think everything was good all week. NXT definitely didn't show major stars all that much, but more just building up other wrestlers. So we started off the show with Zoe Stark versus Sol Ruka.
Okay. I'm vaguely familiar with the last one you said. I don't even know how to pronounce her name, but Zoe Stark I've seen a bit more, and she's pretty good. She's promising, man.
Sol Ruka is the one where you're amazed that she can do that turnbuckle. Was it turnbuckle recoil stunner?
Okay. Yeah. That's I knew that name sounded familiar, but I can't really recall actually seeing a full match that she's been in. But I've seen that clip of her finisher or a few different clips of her finisher so many times I can't even count it. In part because every time it gets shared and I come across it, I can't resist. Like I have to watch it, and I have to watch it probably 5 or 6 times in a row every time.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive, man. It's pretty impressive.
Then we had kind of a sleeper match between
So,
Daba.
hold on. Question: What do you like better? Do you like her turnbuckle stunner, whatever you just called it, or do you
Turnbuckle recoil stunner?
Yeah. So, what you said versus Athena, Ember Moon. Her.
I like the Eclipse.
So you prefer off the turnbuckle
Eclipse
instead
has
of
more
in the
power to
turnbuckle?
it. Yeah, the Eclipse have more power to it. It's just the turnbuckle recoil stunner, as I'll call it, the TRS.
Sure.
The
We'll go with it.
TRS is flashy, and it does the job. It's kind of like an out of nowhere RKO,
Right.
right? And it's like, oh my gosh, you hit it, but just the Eclipse, just the build up to it and the power behind it.
Yeah.
I gotta go with the Eclipse over that.
Yeah. So one more real quick. Kairi Sane's elbow drop or Macho Man Randy Savage?
Macho.
Macho?
Macho has more power.
Yeah.
Kairi has more height, but Macho has more power.
Well, I think, yeah, just in nature of who's performing it. Of course, Macho Man is the more powerful.
And whenever he gets on top rope, he like points his finger up to motion that he's going to go for it.
Yeah. No, I would agree. Kairi, pretty damn close though.
And say a elbow drop. I've always like a finishing elbow drop, like one that's an actual finish, like a good finish, like you hit it, that's it, game over. Is like an elbow drop when they're standing up, and this could be dangerous, but done right, it could be awesome. It's like they're standing supine, standing up at the turnbuckle, facing the other way. It's top rope elbow drop to the back of the head.
Oh yeah, that's brutal. Yeah,
I figured that would be a better move in general than Kairi Sane's insane elbow.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
it would be a lot meaner.
Yeah, I think that would beat a lot of things. That's pretty. Like I said, that's pretty brutal.
But I don't know how dangerous that would be or how safe that would be, because again, it would be to the back or maybe the front. The back's a very dangerous place to land shots. I mean, look what happened when Paige got drop kicked in the back by was it Ember Moon?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But I digress.
Right.
The second match was kind of a sleeper match. It was between the returning Dabba-Kato or Commander Aziz, that you're not too familiar with.
No, not for real.
And Dante Chin.
I don't know who that is either.
He's been losing a lot of matches in NXT. Dabba-Kato gets the win over Chin and announces that he's going to be hunting Apollo Crews, making him pay for what he did. But we don't know what he did. I guess it was that he just left him behind.
Probably just that god-awful gimmick. It's like gotta get revenge for that gimmick that he had.
I mean, I liked the Commander Aziz. I did. I thought
I was talking about Apollo. I was talking about Apollo Crews' gimmick.
Oh, you mean the Nigerian
right
king or
right? Yeah, man. That was just so bad, and he just.
I mean, it has fans. That gimmick has fans.
I don't know who they are. Are you one of them?
No, I did like, however, the match where he had with Big E at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was the Nigerian drum match for the IC title.
Yeah, I don't think I watched that one.
Okay. Is that WrestleMania 30? Oh, 7?
Okay.
So, and then, okay, so next up we had Isla Dawn versus Tatum Paxley. And,
Not sure who the Paxley girl is.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
I've heard the name before. It's just I draw a blank on her. Isla Dawn gets the win, and it looks like Isla Dawn and what's her name? Alba Fire are in it to win it. They're a team.
That's interesting. Putting the two of them together.
Yeah. Looks like, speaking of teams, the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Henley and James, seem to not be agreeing with each other on different things.
Yeah. I mean, they were a enemies turned, reluctant tag team partners who just happened to win gold pretty early on. So, I mean, I think it only makes sense that, they're not going to be 100% on the same page 100% of the time. So,
right.
Be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah. Looks like also we had this was a really good match. Carmelo Hayes versus JD McDonough.
Nice.
Say Hayes, of course, a tremendous athlete. Again, you should definitely watch some of his matches.
Yeah, haven't had a chance to go back and catch any of the old stuff, but I'll probably find the time to watch at least that match that you're talking about there.
Yeah. Again, him versus Adam Cole, or him versus Wesley, or him versus Sikoa at NXT 2.0 1-year anniversary. All of them are tremendous matches. I would very much recommend those to watch.
Okay.
This was also a really good match. I didn't know who would come out on top.
Yeah.
McDonough is a heavy hitter, while both of them are high flyers, but McDonough is just so brutal. It looked like McDonough was going to win, and just out of nowhere, a returning, my favorite, Ilya Dragunov, comes out. And it looks like he's going to attack Carmelo Hayes because he takes out Trix Williams. But Carmelo Hayes rolls up McDonough and pins him, and then Dragunov comes after McDonough.
Okay. Do they have some history?
Yes, a lot of history.
Yeah, I assumed.
I believe it was McDonough that put Dragunov out of commission for about 4 or 5 weeks.
Okay.
So that was also a brutal match between them on NXT. But I'm very excited to see where that's going to go.
Yeah, I'll have to check out that match and keep an eye on it.
Oh, she's the one that's been teaming up with Nile.
Okay.
That's why I've been remembering that name. Okay. Thanks, John.
Yeah, it sounded vaguely familiar.
So we got Tyler Bate calling out Grayson Waller ahead of WrestleMania season, or NXT Stand and Deliver for the NXT brand.
Yeah.
We had a match between Lyra Valkyrie and Valentina Feroz. And I guess they're still just building her up versus Elektra Lopez as Lyra gets the win.
Cool.
So, and we had a match between Channing Stax Lorenzo, the underboss of what's his name? Tony D'Angelo, the Don of NXT, versus Odyssey Jones, a real big man.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
I wouldn't know. He looks like Mark Henry. He looks like Mark Henry if Henry had long dreads, which he's had before.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That is a big guy. I just looked him up.
Yeah, Odyssey Jones. Yeah, it looks like a young Mark Henry.
6'5", 405 pounds.
Yep, and this Channing Lorenzo, this like 6'2", maybe 200-pound guy, beats Odyssey Jones.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
With a clutch DDT, or just a DDT in general.
Yeah.
And then he hit a running knee. Okay. I remember the match. I just had to reread a little bit of it because I forgot what he ended him off with.
Right.
Next up, we had a very bum-ass Baron Corbin looking Pretty Deadly versus Chase U. I mean, these were like Pretty Deadly looked rough. Their hair was all messed up, shirts untucked. A lot of things were just wrong with their attires, mixed matching stuff. It looked like the bum-ass Baron Corbin look, but for the those guys.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I mean, I somewhat enjoy the Pretty Deadly guys as a comedy thing. You know, like they're fun to laugh at, of course, and they are kind of, even when they're not, you know, losing and disheveled like that, even when they were champions and getting a push, they were still pretty amusing. So
yeah,
definitely couldn't see, you know, buying their merch or you know, putting one of their figures on my shelf, but you know, I'm fine with them being around.
Although the hilariousness was ruined when they beat Chase U.
Yeah.
And then started laughing about it. I was like, you're going to build this up to where they're in the rough and wanting opportunities after opportunities, and then give them the win immediately.
Yeah, it would have made more sense to have them lose that one.
Yeah, and then the final of the final thing of the night was Toxic Attraction on Ding Dong Hello with Bayley.
Right. I did see that,
and it looks like Bayley's in a sling.
Yeah. It's just playing up, you know, how brutal Becky Lynch is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a legit injury.
No. And it looks like the whole segment went down. They got to talking, and this Toxic Attraction turned into a whole toxic disillusion.
Yeah. Had a bit of a barbershop window moment.
It was a whole Jannetty Michaels moment.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, just look up the Rockers, Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty, barbershop window. You'll figure it out. But I mean, I've mentioned, you know, in the past, you have to just recycle the good stuff, man. Like I know that was recycling that whole angle with Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Because Shawn's in control creative for NXT.
Yeah. But the fact that I know that that's what that was does not make me enjoy it any less. I enjoy it. I enjoy it probably more because it taps into that nostalgia, man. It reminds me of the time that Shawn Michaels kicked Marty Jannetty and through the barbershop window, you know? So, I mean, for me, that's a big thumbs up. Like that's, you know, I didn't even go out of my way to, like I said, I didn't watch the show, but I did see that clip, you know, all over the internet. So
I bet John was heartbroken.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how John. We haven't talked about that one. So yeah, still a fan of both.
Can we talk about though Jane, it was tremendous. The whole segment was great. I felt like she leaned in a little bit too much on that final boot to Gigi at the
Yeah.
door. That
Yeah,
one
that-
looked like it hurt.
Yeah, it looked that last one looked more brutal than the first one.
I think that she was trying to knock her through the door, but the door was closed shut.
Did you? I don't know if you saw on social media. Gigi Dolan posted a photo. Like I don't know, later on that night, the next day, something like that, of her injuries from that, and she's actually a little banged up.
Oh,
Yeah, on the face, had visible, marks from that. So
I did not see that.
yeah, I'll send it to you. So.
Overall, NXT, I would actually say NXT was more enjoyable this week than they were last week.
Yeah, well, go figure, man. And I mean, it sounds like it was a pretty good episode. I'm gonna try to watch it in a day or so and just catch up on it. But it's good that they do kind of spread themselves out amongst more of the roster in NXT. Trying to give everybody, you said like there weren't any big stars on this week for the most part. So they were able to kind of focus on some of the other talent there, and I wish, I wish the main roster would do a little bit more of that. Try to push everybody on the roster, get everybody over, have every segment be as entertaining as it can be. Which sounds like what they were trying to do, down there with NXT.
Yeah. Also, NXT's great every week as long as Quincy Elliott isn't around.
Yeah, man. Since I've been, that's for, like I said, go figure. Last week I chose to go with SmackDown because I haven't been watching SmackDown. But yeah, for the last several weeks here, I've been catching NXT every week. And since I've been watching it, man, they've all been entertaining episodes. Some better than others, of course, but yeah, haven't been mad about spending my time, watching NXT lately. So
yeah. All right. Well, we'll keep going on through the week, and we'll switch over to AEW Dynamite, the Wednesday show that just keeps on giving. Honestly, Dynamite was really good last week.
yeah, I enjoyed it. Trying to remember, what was the first match of the night?
MJF versus Takeshita.
Yes, yeah, you're right. That was a good one, man. It's a good match.
That was an AEW Eliminator match, AEW Championship Eliminator, and I believe it was MJF that won.
Yeah.
MJF made him tap with an armbar, which I've actually never. I don't think I've seen MJF make someone tap out with an armbar before.
Yeah, I mean he's used it before, but I'm not sure if he's gotten the win with it.
Yeah, and of course he brought that ugly title.
Yep.
That thing's terrible every time I look at it.
It
Just the
is.
strap.
I mean, I think that's part of the point. I think it's supposed to be hideous.
Because you want someone to take it off of him.
Oh yeah. I mean that, and it just works with we're not really supposed to like the guy, so I think anything he can do to you took away that beautiful AEW championship that was very easy on the eyes, and replaced it with this hideous just disaster that now we have to look at every time we see it.
Every time we watch the product, we always just want to go to, there's a recap of NXT. Maybe I'll watch that.
Yeah.
Next, we had a AEW Women's Championship Eliminator match between Jamie Hayter and the Bunny, with Penelope Ford and Kip Sapien at the Bunny side, and Britt Baker and Rebel at Hayter's side.
Yeah, man. That was a pretty good one. It was pretty intense, pretty quick, and ended pretty quick.
Yeah. And after that, I want to just rant a little bit on this. What the hell is Soraya doing in AEW?
Stinking up the joint, man.
I get it. We were all hyped that she's back in wrestling after her whole injury in 2018, 2019. But she's doing nothing.
Yeah, I wasn't hyped. I don't know. I wanted to be. I liked Paige, way back when, but I don't know, man. I kind of had a feeling that her coming back wasn't such a great idea.
Yeah, I'd rather use her as a coach than a competitor.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't mean that she can't have some sort of on-air role,
right?
But
it just looks like they're copying the NWO.
Yeah.
Even down to the spray paint.
Yeah, Paige and Toni Storm have been, pretty much acting like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, and taking on the AEW originals, people that have been there since the beginning.
I wonder what that sounds like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they've been, attacking people backstage, attacking, after the matches. They pull out spray paint. And instead of spray painting a NWO, on the body of their victim, it's a big L because they're losers.
Yeah. I would like to remind you of something I sent to you a while ago that has Vin Diesel in it. A little picture where it's him driving down the road all happy like, oh, AEW's just like WCW. 10 months later, Vin Diesel driving crazily. Oh, shit. AEW's just like WCW.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, and I guess this, I don't know. There's like, I mentioned recycling in wrestling, recycling storylines. Of course, we've talked about the recycled gimmicks. And even, I guess, without realizing it earlier, we talked about recycled moves. Because you have people, using the same moves. Yeah, I think, recycling the idea of the NWO and redoing that with the Bullet Club, for example, I think is an instance where it worked pretty well. And then like whatever Soraya and Toni Storm are trying to do in AEW, which also feels like recycling that NWO gimmick. They just need to start, adding members. It's kind of cringy, man. I'm not really a fan. Yeah, not into it. So I don't know. I guess there's ways of recycling things and doing it well, and then ways of just coming out with a big L yourself, I'm
getting really upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting a little mad. Because, let's just move on. We had Ricky Starks versus the entire Jericho Appreciation Society, minus Jericho, in a gauntlet match.
Yep. The Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia gauntlet match.
Yep.
Or Daniel Garcia, Sammy Guevara gauntlet match.
Yep.
Yes to both.
Yep. Because I believe it was everyone but Hager that came to the ring to wrestle. I think it was 2-on-1 the entire time. It was always 2-on-1.
Yeah, it was a decent match. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary when you got one guy taking on 4.
Yeah, and you got Jericho in the front row being, Jericho, and hits him with the Judas effect.
Yeah. So Chris Jericho wore a generic lucha mask and a Acclaimed T-shirt, and sat in the audience since before Dynamite even started. He was there the whole time.
Didn't Jericho do the same thing in WWE? He wore a Sin Cara mask and a generic WWE attire and got Kevin Owens to win a match against Roman Reigns.
That's quite possible, man. I'm not sure. Not sure about that.
Faintly remember that. That was when it was Jericho, or like Jericho Kevin Owens.
Right. Yeah.
Jericho.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, that's cool either way. But yeah, Jericho at the end, hits Starks with the elbow, and then pulls off his mask and reveals that it was me the whole time.
It was me the whole time.
Right.
And after that, we had an excellent match between Danielson and Rush.
Yeah, man, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Looked like MJF tried to fake them all out, saying that they weren't, that Danielson wasn't there because of all the abuse he's been through between Cage and him and just other events.
Well, in actuality, it was MJF trying to lock Bryan Danielson in his locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, Danielson made it out of the locker room, made it to the ring. Good match, man.
Yeah, and then at the end, it was just MJF flattening him out with the Dynamite ring.
And again, no Blackpool Combat Club to watch Bryan Danielson's back.
Remember that. Remember that, because I'll bring that back up on Rampage.
Okay, I didn't watch Rampage, so
I did.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm still curious about that. So,
well, we got 2 more matches for the Dynamite card. We have the AEW World Trios Championship match between the Elites Kenny Omega and Matt and Nick Jackson versus Top Flight's Dante and Darius Martin and AR Fox.
Yeah, man, pretty good match.
I also want to point out something. You know the GameStop that's in Tiger Town?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and go there later this week. There is a Street Fighter Kenny Omega figure.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, from 2019 when he was Akuma.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I saw it there Saturday. I was like, I won't wait till I get my paycheck so I can go get it. It's the only one there, but hopefully I hit it well.
Yeah, man. Sounds pretty cool. I like that figure.
I thought the whole Street Fighter thing was cool that they did at God, what was it they did at? Was it Fight for the Fallen? No.
Could be. I couldn't remember. I know Zelina Vega did a Street Fighter thing at the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool. I like mashups, man. I like when things, 2 things I like come together.
Yeah.
But yeah, AR Fox, Top Flight.
Versus the Elite. AR Fox almost put away the Elite. AR Fox almost got the 3 count, which I think is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really good match, man. It wasn't quite Death Triangle versus Elite, but it had those vibes. I enjoyed it.
AR Fox was originally part of Lucha Underground.
Oh yeah, Lucha Underground, and I mean he's from Atlanta, right down the road. So
yep, he owns the WWE WWE 4. That
WWE 4.
Yep, believe he trained Theory, Cruz, and all of them.
Yeah. Man, I've seen AR Fox in person many times, and he always puts on a great match, man. He's always entertaining to watch. He does the high flyer, acrobatic stuff better than a lot of other guys.
A lot of other guys.
Yeah, who have greater degrees of success, in the business. So I think it's good, they landed in AEW, and I hope they treat him well, because he's good.
Yeah, I do too. And then for the main event, we had the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. The champions, the Acclaimed, with Daddy Ass, versus the Guns, Austin and Colton Dunn. Gun.
Yeah, man, it was a good match, and surprisingly, like, good storytelling and surprising outcome.
Yeah, I honestly thought in the middle of the match they were gonna pull. I thought they were gonna pull the whole. Oh, it looks like Billy Gunn's gonna turn on the Acclaimed and hit him with the title. No, didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, instead we had I can't remember the difference between the Gunn brothers. I don't know who's who.
It was Austin that hit the title, and it was Colton that got the pin.
Yeah, hit Billy Gunn, Daddy Ass, with the title.
No, wait, I got that backwards. Sorry. It was Colton that hit that had the bell, and Austin that pinned. Oh, Bowens, God.
Well, yeah, new AEW Tag Team Champions, man. It's the Guns. I would not have won any money in that bet.
Really? You would have thought it would have been the Acclaimed?
Oh yeah, I was totally surprised, with the Guns getting the win there. Didn't see that one coming.
All right. So, would you rather do SmackDown first or Rampage first for Friday?
We since we're talking AEW, just go straight into Rampage, and then we'll hit SmackDown.
All right. Well, I am picking up my card that I saved for the Combat Club, because the first match that we had on Rampage was Blackpool Combat Club's Claudio Castagnoli, Jon Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta versus the Butcher, the Blade, and Kip Sapien.
And was Daniel Bryan anywhere to be found?
No.
That's interesting, man. Yeah, because I don't recall like anything going down, to what that would indicate that he wasn't affiliated anymore. But it definitely seems like they've completely distanced Daniel Bryan from the Combat Club. I mean, you've had all these instances. We've been talking about it for a few weeks now, where Daniel Bryan's getting attacked, he's getting ganged up on, and shenanigans happening with Daniel Bryan, and nobody's coming to get his back but Takeshita. No Combat Club. So,
I mean, Bryan could probably bring Takeshita into the Combat Club.
I mean, I would have thought that, but now it doesn't seem like Bryan himself is even on good terms with them. So I know Daniel Bryan was the one who was supposedly closest with William Regal, and kind of defended William Regal a little bit in the beginning there. So I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it.
And the thing is, Combat Club got the win.
Nice.
Let's see. We had the Impractical Jokers on AEW Rampage promoting their new season.
Right.
The one without Joe, because Joe's getting a divorce from his wife because he's spending too much time on the show instead of with his kids.
I don't know the show like that, man. But yeah,
it's
of
a little
course.
heartbreaking.
Say it again.
It's a little heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it sounds like it. I've never really. I mean, I've caught clips from the show here and there, but I've never actually watched it very much. I know Chris Jericho is friends with those guys, and Chris Jericho has been on Impractical Jokers before. So
Really?
yeah.
Huh.
Uh,
And
if I'm not-
explain why to me Jericho Appreciation put Murray and Q through a table.
yeah, no, I don't know. I think so. I believe Jericho's been on the show before, but I think those guys stole Chris Jericho's bat. Yeah,
Right.
so they're beefing. What is Chris Jericho's bat's name?
I don't know.
Isn't it Floyd?
Is Chris Jericho just turning into Negan where he's just naming his bat?
If I'm not mistaken, man. If I'm maybe I dreamt it or I just made it up, but yeah, I think
Jericho's starting to look more and more like Negan anyways. The
Yeah.
gloves, the scarf, the jacket,
yeah.
the bat. If he wraps in
Like
barbed
Negan.
wire, I think Walking Dead needs to file a lawsuit.
Yeah, it's like a cross between like Bret Michaels and Negan, or David Lee Roth and Negan.
Skip that. Lexi Nar interviewed Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion Mark Briscoe.
Cool.
Like their interview got cut off, and looks like, what was it? Mark Sterling offered Briscoe an opportunity to come into the fold of him and whatever his group is called.
Yeah, is that who else is in the group? Tony Nese,
Ryan Nemeth,
Josh Woods.
Josh Woods. Is Ryan Nemeth part of the group? I think.
I'm not sure. I only recall Nese and Woods. I think Nemeth might be part of another group.
Maybe. Speaking of Nemeth, we had Jungle Boy versus Ryan Nemeth, which was a very short match.
Yeah.
Like seconds.
Jungle Boy beat him clean.
Yes.
Surprise, surprise.
Yep. Hit him with a running elbow and just scoring the pinfall. That was it. It looks like Brian Cage came out and is challenging Jungle Boy. So it looks like they're having a rivalry, Cage and Jungle Boy.
Well, I mean, if Jungle Boy comes out on top of that one, I'm gonna have
A serious problem.
I'm gonna have a problem with that.
Yeah, because come on, it's Brian Cage. It's the Machine.
Yeah. In fact, their encounter should go down a lot like the Jungle Boy Nemeth match, but in the opposite direction.
Hits him with a drill claw, and that's it.
Yeah. It should be a Bill Goldberg spear jackhammer. You're done.
Yeah. It should be like what's another good one? Kane versus Chavo Guerrero match.
Yeah.
One choke slam, done.
Yeah. Santino in the Rumble.
That's not even fair, man.
Yeah, man, but I have a feeling that Jungle Boy's going to get the win there. So I'm just kind of preparing myself to, complain about that.
Yeah. We had an altercation between Hangman Adam Page and Kip Sapien talking about his loss to Moxley, with Kip Sapien just telling Paige straight up. Remember, this is Kip Sapien, Penelope Ford telling Paige to grow up and take his loss to Moxley like a man. I find that to be hysterical, and I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
Kip Sapien, of all people, telling a former AEW World Champion and Tag Team Champion to man up.
Yeah.
Kip
Yeah.
Sapien.
That's odd.
From North. I can't even say the name of where he's from.
I don't know where he's from. Where's he from?
They've botched the name so many times. Norfolk? Even though the R is like silent, I think. So it's Norfolk. I can't say it.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't sound like you should.
I can't.
Well, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing with Kip Sabian.
And then they had the main event between Orange Cassidy and Lee Moriarty for the All Atlantic Championship.
How was that?
It was terrible. The only good thing that came out of it was that Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal and all of them interrupted and attacked Cassidy and Danhausen, and then the Acclaimed came down to ringside to help them out.
Where were the best friends?
Best Friends came down before Acclaimed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the large, what's his name, Satnam Singh, put them down before they could do anything. So the Acclaimed had to come down and even the score.
Okay.
Don't worry, Best Friends came down before the Acclaimed.
Yeah, I mean that makes more sense, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of Cassidy and Best Friends and all those guys. So,
but now on to a better show, SmackDown.
yeah, that Rampage sounded like a dud.
It was terrible. SmackDown. We had Paul Heyman come out with the titles, talking all about this, talking about Cody, talking about Sammy, the Chamber, and then Sammy comes out of the crowd, and just like Raw, the segment between Heyman and Zayn is phenomenal.
Yeah, man, it was really, really good. That's after Heyman had already said that Sami Zayn was not in the building; he wasn't there. So of course, you could kind of tell that was going to be BS. So we knew Sammy was there.
I've also noticed that Sami Zayn has not come out to music yet since all this.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine he's probably going to get a little bit of a makeover in that regard.
I feel like his original song, what is it called? But his original theme song, the
like NXT
theme, or like early WWE debut theme, is going to be going on at either WrestleMania or at the Chamber. And he's going to have a haircut and walk out to that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about the haircut, but
Sure?
I could see some new music. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He may cut his hair and go back to it. I don't know how great of an idea, that would be to like do something drastic, and change your look so drastically right now.
Say change the look and go back to that pants with the SZ and even have a flag.
Maybe. I don't know, man. That might work. It might.
I mean, it's his hometown, Montreal. So, how big of a pop would that be?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine. I would imagine people would dig it. I don't know, especially being in his hometown.
Yeah, and just like the Rollins theme song, people are going to sing along with it.
Yeah,
I remember I sung along with it once at a live event when he came out, even when he was a heel.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just, like I said, I don't know. There might be some new fans who, have just come around who, are into Sami Zayn, and for him to, change things up so drastically. I think a lot of your diehards, your people that know and have been watching for a while, of course, would mark out to that. But
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the newer fans, casual fans, I don't know. I feel like they might almost kind of miss what they've been seeing currently. Because they, it's like I like this guy. I'm on his side. I like his look. And then for him to just change so drastically, especially if it's something you're not familiar with, I don't know, could be a bit odd, alienating, could be a bit of a put off. So that's why I say I don't know how good of an idea it is. Of course, if it's just me, I would get it and I would think it's awesome. So
Yeah, John makes some good points. He says just keep the hair and the beard and go back to the song. But what about an entire change-up? I mean, seriously, he doesn't need to come out in like camo pants or anything like that. I was not a fan of camo pants, boots, or even t-shirt Sami Zayn. T-shirt Sami Zayn's cool. I get it. He's not as fit as he was in NXT, so
yeah,
it's like Baron Corbin's not fit in that area, or Kevin Owens, so if they cover it up,
right. Yeah, I would. I would not do the haircut personally, but I could see doing everything else, go back to change the attire, change the music. I'm down with all that, but
maybe wave that flag.
Yeah, I'd keep the hair and the beard for a little while though.
Yeah. After that, we had the Banger Bros versus Hit Row.
So is WWE still using that?
No.
That term?
I will, but WWE has actually, we're about to go under lawsuit by the porn company Bang Brothers.
Is there a lawsuit for real?
They were going to go under lawsuit.
Oh, and then they dropped it.
And they dropped the name. The name has been totally dropped. That's a real thing, where the porn company almost took WWE to court over the name.
Man, that's hard to believe that whoever came up with that at WWE didn't know.
They knew what they were doing. They just thought they could get away with it. So now they're just called Drew McIntyre and Sheamus.
Okay. Yeah, we're not even going to bother to come up with a new name.
No, I don't think so. I wonder if Triple H fired the person or just promoted him. He was like, I like your style.
Right.
Keep it under check next time.
Well, I mean, it's also just, the Raw. Yeah, you got Raw Triple X. You got the Banger Bros. It just seems like somebody there is having a good time.
Cody Rhodes talk about Lana Rhodes on Logan Paul's podcast.
Yeah, well, somebody on the show supposedly, and I don't know if they genuinely thought this, but thought that Cody Rhodes and Lana Rhodes were related.
He's a dummy. The guy's a dummy.
Yeah, I did see that clip though. It was pretty funny. I don't know who any of those people were, but
after that we had a sleeper match, Lacey Evans versus a local competitor.
Yeah, typical quick jobber match, and I don't know. I I've said before, I like Lacey Evans. I even like this new, version of her.
It's like Sergeant Slaughter version.
Yeah, no, I'm into it, man. But WWE is just not invested in her for whatever reason.
I'm not invested in her for all the right reasons.
Well, I mean, what exactly would your reasons be? I mean, I don't know. I feel
she's
like
not good in the ring.
You really don't think she's good?
Not really. No, she's never put on an eye glancing match whenever I usually would see Lacey Evans, I was like, okay, that's either a potty break or a I'm about to go get something to eat break.
Yeah, I mean that's predominantly how I feel about women's wrestling, but
No, I don't feel that way about women's wrestling. I just feel that way about certain women in wrestling.
no, I mean likewise. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I there are some exceptions. I am a big fan of some of the women in terms of their wrestling and their ability to put on good matches. Lacey Evans is not somebody that I wouldn't say that I've ever seen her blow my mind or wow me with anything, but she's somebody that I thought had potential, and I still think she does have potential to put on better matches. I would like to see her, go up against a Bailey or a Becky Lynch or Charlotte, and see how good it could be. Because I feel like a lot of her opponents have not been the greatest either. And I don't feel like WWE's really invested in her and pushed her. Having her go up against some nobody, no name jobber, right now is not what she needs to be doing. I like her taking Sergeant Slaughter's move, and I think she does it well. So yeah, I mean, I would just like to see this new version of her. I like the Southern Belle gimmick probably
I
better.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would, ideally I would have just stuck with that and got more behind that. But this new version of her, she's a bit more intense. And she's got that Cobra clutch that she does pretty well.
Very Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, and like I said, she does it well. She looks intense and she looks brutal. She looks intimidating. She looks like a force. So I would just put her with higher on the card with some better talent and see what she can do. So yeah, like I said, I haven't seen her do anything yet that I would say is a classic match or has really been super impressive. But I don't know. I just think she has more potential than what WWE obviously thinks that she has.
Yeah.
So,
the next match was
like I said earlier too. I mean, I want there to be, a broad range. I would love for every match and every segment, to be good and entertaining. So if you've got people that,
I mean, of course, you want everyone to be good and entertaining. You want everything to be every match on a card. You always want to have as like a match that keeps you interested.
Of course, and there are people that do deliver, and then there's people that I think you see potential in, and then there's people that you don't see potential in. And those are the people that I would let go, and obviously not like to see. We can talk about Orange Cassidy and some of these people. Yeah, Adam Cole, Mustafa Ali. Yeah, it's people that I just straight up don't do anything for me and will not do anything for me. Like mine is made up on those. So, but I think there's some people who kind of fall in the middle where like, you haven't exactly wowed me, but you could, So.
Right. The next match, mid-card for some reason. I'm surprised this wasn't the main event. The main event was kind of stupid, but I'm surprised this wasn't the main event. It was the Usos. Yes, Jey Uso showed up for the match versus Braun Strowman and Ricochet for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, that was a pretty good match.
This match I felt could have gone either way.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty solid. It was pretty good, man.
I think I already voiced my opinions last week about Braun and Ricochet in this match, but just while watching this match, I was like, you know what? It probably wouldn't be bad if they dropped the titles, but also thinking, you know what? It probably would be bad if they dropped the titles with storyline going and Jey Uso still having the trust of his brother.
Right.
Because it looks like Jey Uso still believes in Sami Zayn.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a little fist bump. little segment where Sammy said that he acknowledges him.
And it looks like that Jimmy Uso is manning up with his brother and straight up lied to Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Which, even after the show, Paul Heyman came up to Jimmy Uso saying that Roman Reigns wants both the Usos to stay home for Elimination Chamber, which it's a pretty good way to write them off because they can't really go to Montreal because of their DUIs.
Yeah. So is that what's going on?
Yeah, it's because both Usos have DUIs and can't travel country through certain reasons. Because they were able to go to Saudi Arabia, but they're not able to go to Canada.
Huh. That's interesting.
And so it looks like Roman Reigns is catching on as well. Because Paul Heyman says, sometimes you catch stuff on the show that you don't catch live.
Yeah. Kind of implying, or planting that seed that Reigns was sitting at home watching SmackDown, watching, the fist bump.
Cameras and all this.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Usos retain against Strowman and Ricochet. Wasn't too mad about it. I thought the match was excellent. Well, I guess excellent's a strong word. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. And then after that, we had another match to add on to the losing streak of Chelsea Green. So we had Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green.
Yep. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville lost.
Yep. What a shock.
Yep. Yeah. Chelsea Green had some little backstage segment with what's his name?
Pierce.
Adam Pierce. Was that's the one where she was like threatening to speak to his boss, pulling like the Karen gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think John, said a few weeks ago that's what he had read that she was going to be doing in WWE. So it looks like that was true.
Yeah, John and I had talked about that on our way to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think hopefully this sets up for Cardona to come in. I still have my hopes up for Cardona to make a return.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I've said before, if I was Cardona, I would ride out the Indies a little bit longer. I think he'd probably get a little bit more, hold out for a little bit more money, I think. So kind of build himself up better on the Indies. Keep getting that indie money while it's good, and then hop back over to WWE when they're offering a big chunk of change.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of hopefully ride it out, in WWE and just retire from there. But after a long and illustrious career, I could see Cody Rhodes, man, where we're seeing him at right now. If you'd have told me years ago watching Stardust that that guy would be main eventing WrestleMania in 2023, I wouldn't have believed it. So who knows, man? Matt Cardona, I think, could likely come back and find himself in a much better position than any of us thought Zack Ryder would ever be in.
Yeah. And then we had the final match of the night, which, again, I believe should have been swapped out for the tag team title match because this match was more of a mid-card match. I get they had to have the whole segment with Zayn and all that, so they need more TV time.
Right.
It was a fatal four-way match to determine the number one contender for Gunther's Intercontinental Championship. Which, by the way, Gunther is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of the 21st century. Do want to re-say the longest title reign is 600 days, held by the Honky Tonk Man, and was defeated in 8 seconds by the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Or
Classic.
was it SummerSlam?
Yeah, I don't recall.
I forget which one it is. Hold on, I got to fact check myself. It was either Mania or SummerSlam. Yeah, it was SummerSlam. Yep, beat him in 8 seconds at SummerSlam. Hit him with a shoulder tackle, and with a overhead press, leg drop. Oh no, not even leg drop. Sorry, splash and finish.
Yep.
That was at SummerSlam, not Mania. Good thing I fact checked myself.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, 600 days is the record. And Gunther is currently 260. So he's still got a long ways to go.
Yeah.
But the match...
You think somebody will ever beat that honky tonk record?
I don't think anyone will allow that. Just because it's a part of wrestling history.
Yeah.
Because a record set, like, no one's going to beat the Bruno Sammartino record of 4,000 days or so.
Right.
I mean, no one will allow that.
Right.
But I think the easiest title record to beat is the United States Championship, which only has, how long is it? It was more than 300 to 400 days.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too hard. Do you know who that was?
Sid.
Yeah.
I believe it was Psycho Sid that held that belt for that reign. I'm a fact check again. No, it wasn't. I was wrong. Dang it. The longest reigning champion, all out of left field. Sorry, I got all of that wrong. I don't know why I said Psycho Sid. It was Lex Luger.
Ah, yeah, Lex Luger.
With not even 523 days. And that is the longest reigning championship in WWE.
Yeah, I mean that's quite a bit. It's not too far behind the Honky Tonk Man and the Intercontinental.
So that would be the record that probably a lot of people would want to go for.
Yeah.
Oh, but the Fatal 4-Way was between Madcap Moss, Rey Mysterio, Karrion Kross, and Santos Escobar.
Yeah, there's some decent stuff in that match.
I just feel like the match should have gone to Escobar.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have been mad at that.
But it looks like they're pushing Madcap Moss. Since Madcap was the one that got the pinfall on Cross. No. He got the pinfall on who?
Is it Rey Mysterio?
I forget if it was Mysterio or Cross or Escobar, but he hit an elbow drop.
I think it was Rey Mysterio.
Mysterio?
Yeah. Yeah, they had a little backstage moment. Rey Mysterio and Escobar exchanging masks and like talking about. I think Escobar was telling Rey Mysterio how much of an inspiration he was to him, and then gave him his mask. So,
An honor between luchadors.
yeah.
But yeah, that was the card for SmackDown.
Yeah, pretty good week, to watch SmackDown.
Yeah. And now to our main discussion I wanted to talk to you about. New Japan. I have not watched any New Japan, but I did read that there was a match recently with Jay White.
Yeah, I did not watch it either, but I also read about it. It was a stipulation to the match where
Loser leaves Japan.
Yeah.
And he lost.
Yeah, Jay White lost. Which there was talk not too long ago about his contract coming up, and there was a rumor going around that he was going to be in the Royal Rumble. Obviously, he didn't show up at the Rumble, but we're not too far removed from the Rumble, and it does appear that his contract is up because he lost that match.
Right. So, which begs the question, what now? For the former leader of the Bullet Club, one of the biggest leaders of the Bullet Club, along with AJ Styles, what now?
Yeah, I mean, AJ Styles and also Devitt, Finn Balor. It would be pretty interesting if Jay White shows up in WWE, because you would then have, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Jay White. Just in terms of former leaders, of course, you got the Good Brothers on the roster as well. That's a lot of Bullet Club.
Yeah,
that's a lot of prominent Bullet Club. Let's not forget as well, Cody was in the Bullet Club. So, and
then Gallus and Anderson and all them. Yeah.
So that would be an interesting fit for Jay White. I could see him making that move, especially with somebody. He knows some of those guys. So he's got people that he can talk to, I'm sure, and kind of help him fill out that decision. AEW could be good. He's worked with AEW a little bit already in recent time.
But it hasn't been big matches.
No, and not even big roles, but he's made appearances. He's been on some AEW shows. He's been all over Impact. I don't think Impact can afford him full time. Mm-hmm. So I don't see him going to Impact. I'm pretty positive that WWE and AEW are gonna try to snatch him up, and they're both going to be offering him, really big money. So
right.
That's why I say, like, seeing him in Impact just probably won't be happening again. Not anytime soon.
By the way, it's still scheduled to happen at Battle in the Valley between Eddie Kingston and Jay White. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's still scheduled.
When is that?
I'm not sure. Battle of the 3. Come on, slow computer, you can do this. February 19th. So the day after Chamber.
Yeah, so that's next weekend.
Right. And it looks like that's the same event that's going to have Kairi Sane versus Mercedes Moné.
Right.
So they might replace Jay White. They might not. last minute.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, I think seeing him in AEW or WWE is
I feel like he would have a better fit, as in his character in AEW. I just feel like there's a lot more potential in WWE.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think if Jay White goes to AEW, I don't know that he necessarily becomes a bigger star. You know, I mean, I think he'll still be a guy for the wrestling marks and put on some great matches, have some good stuff, you know, go down. But WWE, man, he really could become a bigger star. You
Think
know,
of the storyline. Think of the match. Three
Yeah.
former leaders of the Bullet Club facing
Yeah.
off against each other.
oh yeah, and that's what I
Maybe Jay White meets some people along the way. They have their three factions: Judgment Day, OC, and whatever Jay White has.
yeah.
The War Games potential.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I hope he goes. Just because, like I said before, you know, having all those other guys from Bullet Club, you know, already there. I don't know, you know, I'm trying to think if there's, you know, in AEW, you've got Jeff Jarrett, who was in the Bullet Club. I don't really know that there are any other AEW people who are kind of affiliated or linked to Bullet Club. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. There we go.
Yep.
So
Adam Cole wasn't. No.
yeah. Adam Cole was Bullet Club. Yeah. So I don't know. That's interesting as well because you've got a nice. What's that? Jarrett, Omega, Young Bucks, Cole. That's 5 Bullet Club members in AEW.
And then
So
you got Styles, Rhodes, Good Brothers, and Balor.
yeah, so you got 5 in WWE. So either way he goes, man, it looks like he's gonna, you know, make a lot of money, be around some Bullet Club guys. Yeah, familiar faces.
He gets a great match with Owens. Jay White versus Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that's a tough call, man. I'm sure he's probably going to have a hard time making that decision too. It might ultimately boil down to who throws more money at him.
Yeah,
that would definitely affect my decision. You know, especially if I was kind of looking at it like, man, I got 5 bros over here. And he probably has other friends who aren't Bullet Club guys.
and I think he knows what he'll choose. He already has it in the back of his mind.
Yeah,
because he's worked with AEW before, so he already knows what that playing field is like.
Yeah, he's gotten a taste of that.
So he might have the full course of that, or he might dip into something new and go to WWE. Either way, he's already got a decision in the back of his mind. We just are waiting to see what that is.
Yeah.
Heck, WrestleMania is coming up.
Yeah.
This is around the time where Cody left AEW and debuted at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Man, I mean, imagine, you know, WrestleMania rolls around, it's Cody versus Reigns, and Jay White just shows up to ruin it for Cody.
I mean, that
Or
would also,
or shows up to help Cody and ruin it for Reigns.
any of those options would be good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd be down to see that go either way.
Yeah. I mean, Styles should also be fully healed before Mania.
Yeah.
So you might have a whole Styles, Balor, and then Jay White comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. And then who's he gonna help? Who's he gonna align with?
Or does he attack them both and debut with the Gorillas?
Yeah.
Or even with FTR?
Yeah.
Because, you know, both of them are also being eyed by Hunter.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and there's rumor that they're planning on going back to to WWE. So and
They dropped all the titles already.
Yeah, their contracts are about up. So yeah, man, there's some interesting possibilities. Hopefully, it's whatever happens is that good.
Yeah. Hopefully they won't be overhyped and then nothing like they did in AEW.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're not like in WWE and used as jobbers.
Yeah.
They'll actually bring good matches to the tag team division.
Yeah.
I just wanted to talk about that. see what your thoughts was on that. See if anyone else had thoughts on that.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't actually see the Jay White match, but I read about it. So, interesting stuff, man. I think whatever happens, I hope that it remains a surprise. Definitely miss the good old days of having surprises.
Mm-hmm. Where the internet doesn't ruin everything, where leaks come out and tell you exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's nice to see like the Gunn brothers, the Ass Boys, win those championships, and moments like that.
Coming back for Rumble.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that happened. Not even the commentators knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, surprises are good, man. So I'm gonna try to. I don't know. I really don't go out of my way looking for rumors, but sometimes they fall in your lap and can't help but read. So
I was gonna say there's a fine line between leaks and teases.
Yeah. And just straight up.
Bray Wyatt was teased.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just that stuff that people just randomly make up, with absolutely no truth to what they're saying.
Right. Because the Royal Rumble with Dwayne Johnson.
Oh yeah. That's been going around. And like we said earlier, we heard Jay White was going to debut at the Rumble.
Like the leaked Rumble entrance.
Right. That comes out every year, and I think is almost always, if not always, completely wrong.
Well, yeah. I mean, this lineup was a little spot on, except for Jay White and Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Also, Logan Paul. Logan Paul was a part of it, and they weren't in that lineup, I don't think.
Yeah.
Also wanted to point out one more thing. I wanted to say this last week, but it looks like Triple H has allowed NXT superstars to start performing under an indie company as well as NXT.
Oh yeah, I think I read something about that as well. About WWE letting some of their talent do certain indie shows.
Right now, they're only letting them do Booker T's indie show.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which has another Bloodline member, one of the Bloodline's relatives, a part of that company.
Okay.
I forget what his name is, but he was fresh out of prison.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, it makes sense because Booker T, works for them. So.
Yeah. And Booker T said he's done. He says this Royal Rumble was a curtain call for me. I'm done. That was a opportunity to see if I was in shape for it, if I need to do it, if I could do one more run. He's like, after that and after all this, no, I'm done.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah, I said at the time that it shouldn't have happened because it didn't look great. Yeah,
at least Booker T knew he would be a part of it.
Yeah, no, I also read, as well that he was asked to be in the Rumble like 15 minutes before the show started or something crazy like that, like, or just earlier that day, So, but like seeing that interview, that post Rumble interview with him talking about, how that kind of proved to him that he really couldn't go anymore. Yeah, at least he sees that.
At least he's honest about it.
Yeah, and doesn't.
I could do this forever. He's like, no, man, I'm old. I'm tired. I'm working with children.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his wrestling school and apparently his wrestling promotion, and he's doing commentary. He's a Hall of Famer. I mean, there's not really a whole lot of reason other than that.
He was the last WCW champion.
Yeah, like I said, for him, there's not really any reason to get back in the ring, and try to have a last run aside from ego, So, and luckily, he's not gonna let his ego get the best of him there, and so
it's like Ric Flair getting back in the ring and doing his final match, Part 6.
Yeah, or Terry Funk retiring 27 times.
That's all I have for tonight.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good show.
Pretty good to end off on. Next week, I guess we'll be talking about the Elimination Chamber, or about anything else that goes on that's surprising.
Yeah. Who knows, man? We'll see next week.
Yeah. Until then, I am Big Bubba Brogdon.
Yes, and I am Boosh Dingo, the Luchador.
And all I can end off on is thank goodness we haven't seen Quincy Elliott for about 3 months.
Yep. So that's
the world has become a better place.
Yes. Well, let's hope that remains the case. But yeah.
Yes. Even though he's still in the active roster.
Yeah. No, he'll be back at some point, but let's hope it's a long time.
Hopefully they reinvent him.
Yeah.
And maybe even get him to lose a couple 100 pounds.
A few hundred, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see how Gunther Walter made that transformation.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
about a year, he lost 130 pounds.
Yeah. Maybe Quincy can get it together. He's got to stop riding around that scooter though.
Instead of a scooter, probably put on a bicycle. Wait.
Yeah, or at the very least, just walk, man. Well, all right. Yeah. Enjoy your week, man, and everyone else. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
See y'all next week. Thank you for watching.